Hello all, welcome to iTutor Academy. In today's session, we will start with Unit 3 of MMBC 009, that is Facilities Location. So, objectives of this unit are understand the strategic importance and objectives of facilities location, realize the enlarged scope of dealing with the facility rather than just plant or factory location, and identify various factors relevant for general territory selection as well as those relevant for specific site or community selection. Next is appreciate that the location decision are quite complex because of the existence of subjective intangible factor along with the objective tangible factors. Be in a position to apply some relevant techniques, either subjective, qualitative or semi-quantitative in nature, and grasp some simple operational research oriented models. Realize the need for recognition of the assumption and limitation of the quantitative model discussed. Provide a blend of some good rational qualitative judgment and the analytical model solution, and be in a position to identify relevant factors for facility location. Next is structure of this unit. That is an introduction. When does a location decision arise? Steps in the facility location study: subjective, qualitative and semi-quantitative techniques, locational break-even analysis, some quantitative model for facility location, some case examples, summary, keyword section and self-assessment exercise also here for the reading session also there in this unit. So let's begin with the introduction part. So facility location design are strategic, long-term and non-repetitive in nature. Without sound and careful location planning in the beginning itself, in the new facility may pose continuous operating disadvantages for the future operations. Location decisions are affected by many factors, both internal and external to the organization's operations. So, internal factors include the technology used, the capacity, the financial position, and the workforce required. External factors include the economic, political, and social conditions in the various locations. And most of the fixed and some of the variable costs are determined by the location decision. The efficiency, effectiveness, productivity, and profitability of the facility are also affected by the location decision. Okay, the facilities location problem is concerned primarily with the best or optimal location depending on appropriate criteria of effectiveness. Location decisions are based on a host of factors, some subjective, qualitative, and intangible, while some others are objective, quantitative, and tangible. Concept of facility: traditionally, location theorists have dealt with the industrial plant or factory location. However, the concept of plant location has now been generalized into the facility location, since the facility could include a production, operation, or service system. The term plant has been traditionally used as a synonymous to factory, manufacturing, or assembly unit. So this could include fertilizer, steel, cement, rice, etc. Okay, so next is, when does a location decision arise? So impetus to embark upon facility location study can usually be attributed to various reasons. It may arise when new facility is to establish. In some cases, the facility or plant operations and subsequent expansion are restricted by a poor site, thereby necessitating the setting up of the facility at a new site, and the growing volume of business makes it advisable to establish additional facility in new territories. Decentralization and dispersal of industrial reflected in the industrial policy resolution so as to achieve an overall development of a developing country would necessitate a location decision at a macro level, and it would happen that the original advantage of the plant have been outweighed due to new development. New economic, social, legal and political factors could suggest a change of location of the existing plant. So when we start a business, so there is very important about the location. So first of all, the market study is important, and their environment, socio political and economic factors are depending on this location selection of one business, especially the manufacturing plants or any startups. Okay, so some or all above factors could force a firm or an organization to question whether the location of its plan should be changed or not. So whenever the plan location decision arises, it deserves careful attention because of the long-term consequences. So, any mistakes in selection of proper location could prove to be costly. So poor location could be constant source of higher cost, higher investment, difficult marketing and transportation, dissatisfaction and frustrated employees and consumers, frequent interpretation of production, abnormal wastages, delay and substandard quality, denied advantages of geographical specialization, and so on. So, once a facility is set up at a location, it is very difficult to shine later to be better location because of numerous economic, political, and sociological reasons. Okay, so very important. The location selection is very important. So, Weber's analysis, so, on the basis of availability, he categorized raw material into ubiquitous to denote those available almost everywhere, like sand, water, etc. And localized material have specified location, which are further divided into pure material, which contribute nearly the total weight of it is to be finished goods, gross material, which contribute only a small fractions of total weight to be finished goods, and the material index mi is weight of localized material used in finished product divided by weight of the finished product. So this is about the Weber's analysis about the material. So please read that. Okay, and the next is step in the facility location study. So what are the location study are usually made two phases, namely the general territory selection phase and the exact site community selection phase among the hosts available in the general location. So here is one table: overlap of consideration of factors in the two stages of facility location, phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 is general territory selection, phase 2 is particular selection of site and community. So here is location factors: market is there, raw material, power, transportation, climate and fuel, labor and wages, laws and taxation, community service and attitude, water and waste, ecology and pollution, capital availability, vulnerability to enemy attack. These are the location factors. So consider all in phase 1 and phase 2. So please refer this table, you will get an idea. So in territory selection phase 1, there is a market is there, raw material and supplies, transportation facilities, manpower supply, infrastructure, legislation and tax is there, and climate. In type 2, that is phase 2, site or community selection, there is community facility, community attitudes, waste disposal is there, ecology and pollution, site size, topography, transportation facility, and supporting industries and services, land cost is there. So these are the phase 2 factors. Some of the industrial needs and characteristics that tended to favor each of these locales are now discussed, and requirements and governing choices of a city location are availability of adequate supply of labor force, high proportion of skilled employees, rapid public transportation and contact with the supplier and customers, small plant site or multi-floor operations, process heavily dependent on city facilities and utilities, good communication facilities like a telephone, telex, and post office, good banking and healthcare delivery system. Requirements governing the choice of a suburban location are large plant site close to transportation or population center, free from some common city building zoning and other restrictions, freedom from higher parking and other city taxes, etc. And labor force required reside close to plant and community close to but not in large population centers, planned expansion easier than in the city. And requirements of governing the choice of a country rural location are large plant site required for either present demand or expansion, and dangerous production process, lesser effort required for anti-pollution measures, large volume of relatively clean water, lower property tax, away from urban land ceiling act restrictions, protection against possible sabotage or for a secret process, balanced growth and development of a developing or underdeveloped area, unskilled labor force required, low wages required to meet the competition. Okay, and next is subjective quality and semi quantitative techniques. So, three subjective techniques used for facility location are industry precedents, preferential factors and dominant factors. So most of us are always looking for some precedents, and so in the industry precedents subjective technique use, the basic assumption is that if a location was best for similar fame in the past, it must be the best for us now. And so as such, there is no need for conducting a detailed location study, and the location choice is thus subject to the principle of precedence, good or bad. And for evaluating qualitative factors, some factors ranking and factors weight rating system may be used. In the ranking procedure, a location is better or worse than another for the particular factor. By weighing factors and rating locations against these weights, a semi quantitative comparison uh, of location is possible. That is equal weights method. We could assign the equal weight to all factors and evaluate each location along the factor scale. Example also here. So this is the decision matrix and variable weight method. Decision matrix is here. So please go through this from your IGNOU study material. And weight cum rating method is there. So here is also an example. And factor pointing rating method is there. Okay. So please read from your IGNOU study material these all. You will get an idea. And the next is composite measure method. What is composite measure method? This here is 5 steps are here. Develop a list of all relevant factors, assign a scale to each factor and designate some minimum, and weight the factors relative to each other in light of importance towards achievement of system goal. And step 4 is score each potential location according to the designated scale and multiply the scores by the weight. And step 5 is total the point for each location and either use them in conjunction with a separate economic analysis, and include an economic factor in the list of factors and choose the location on the basis of maximum points. So these are the 5 steps for that, and please read this. Okay, so you will get idea. And the next is location break even analysis. So sometimes it is useful to draw location break even chart which could aid in deciding which location would be optimal. Okay, so this is also important. Cost data is there. So here is a chart, sales volume, and in Delhi based, the location based break even volume is there calculating for the location. Fixed cost divided by revenue per unit minus variable cost per unit. So that is this table also here, cost comparison. So this is about the break even analysis of location. Okay, so please refer this. In between any doubts, you just contact us, use your study material also. So this is about today's section. Next subsession of unit 3 we will discuss on next video. So for more MBA videos, you just do like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.
iTutor Academy presents IGNOU MBA complete syllabus coverage classes for individual students, semester-wise subject with online and flexible timing. For more details, contact on +916 238 217885.